Well, I was hoping to use my tripod for some better video setup here. Unfortunately, the little mount I've used occasionally for my iPhone just snapped in two, so you're stuck with my handheld junk. So, I'm going to redo this area here. I need a better off-cut outfeed table as well. Since I've sold the sliding table for the table saw, I don't have a way to cut large panels and keep them square. So I've been doing a ton of research for the last year, and I'm gonna make a 4 foot that way by 6 foot that way outfeed table that will also function as a modified MFT. But to use that and do that effectively, I'm gonna go with the UJK Parf Mark II system and a Festool track, which I think is DeWalt compatible. Did you know that? I didn't know that. I'm gonna test it out. If not, it's going back to Lee Valley. I'm not gonna cut anything or play with it until I know for sure. Don't wanna screw up any returns potentially. So I got the Festool 1080 track, so 1080 millimeters, which will give me at least 3 foot cut length. And we have the Parf Guide system Mark II. And I think there may be an order pending with benchdogs.uk for their fence system, which will allow me to park the fence, do the cut, measure, get my lengths for larger panels because of a bigger project coming up. So let's unbox these things. Sorry. I gotta say, Festool packaging, easy to get into. You're not having to do anything crazy. And 100% pristine, no dents on the corners. Nope. Tracks are nice and smooth. Ooh, I do like their chip guide much better than the DeWalt. DeWalt's floppy rubber. This is more of a firmer, almost acrylic, but silicone-y. I don't know what it's made out of, but I like this better. I definitely do like this better. So, and as mentioned, the foam on this, much more sticky than the DeWalt. The DeWalt will slide around. I have to use the clamps for it. Okay, this is good. And if I go with the Bench Dogs table system, they do make some little clamps that will go through the track in the saw. So let's put this aside. And we're going to put that away safe. And I got a knife and we'll open up the Mark II Parf system. Okay, so I cut the tape off camera because I can't do it with just one hand and do it efficiently. So this is pristine, brand new, opening it up. I don't know if you guys like this kind of stuff, but let's look at this here. Packaged really well. Let me just put this down for a second. Okay, so we got everything opened up. Comes with a nice manual. I've watched Peter Parfik's videos a ton. That's your best way to do it. It does have some nice features to it. It does not come with the dust port, which is kind of a bummer because you'd think for 300 bucks Canadian they could throw in a 3D printed part that's probably $1. Oh well. Here we have the key to the system, the anodized aluminum guide. Really nicely machined though. I love the orange anodizing. I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. Nice oil light bushings here. And the depressed registration blocks for the drilling guide. Looks good. Let's put that aside. Here is the pins and everything else, I believe, and the cutter. So that looks good. Let's see if we can pop this off with one hand. Nope, hold on. Okay, I couldn't open up the stuff with just one hand. So again, we have the little pins, which are core to it. Oddly enough, there's a piece of some mill flashing on there. A little hard piece of stainless steel. Interesting. A bit sharp too. We have the drilling guides. So this would be the longer one. And then we have the standard one. They're all covered in machine oil. If these are stainless steel, I'm not sure why they need to be soaked in oil. You can see in the box there. Here's the pin for registering the unit, the 2 sticks, and a couple of the small dogs. Ooh, they do fit nicely in there. Let's have a look at these guys. Really no play at all, so that's good. It looks as advertised on TV. The 2 rulers are, I'm going to take one out of the package here. Let's see if they're etched or if it's just printed on. I hope it's etched. Let's see. Okay, I have one of the rulers here. Yes, they are etched. You can actually feel with your fingernail each of the little indents. So it's just not screened on, which is beautiful because this is not going to rub off over time. You might be able to even use these as nice rulers and that type of thing going forward. So that's good. Everything looks pristine. Oh, I should see if the rulers line up. Ooh, that would be a neat trick, eh? If they didn't. Let's have a look here. Let's line up hole number 48. Looking through. Okay, I'm going to take these out of the package and I'm going to get a clamp and we're going to clamp them so that they're perfect. Okay, I have their little registration pin right here that you use if the rulers are sort of in open air when you're doing your 3, 4, 5 triangle, or what is it, 6, 8, 10 triangle. Lining up the rulers. All the holes look pretty darn consistent. So let's go to the end. Let's get the drilling guide with the larger collar and let's see if that sits down. And that sits down perfectly. So I know that these 2 rulers are beautifully in line and concentric. Let's go to each of the holes. It just sits in, registers wonderfully. So that's good. The only tiny issue is that bit of lathe flash on that pin, but whatever, that was 2 seconds and no harm done, no body parts missing. Let's do each of these. Should hope these ones are equal. Perfect. All right. So I gotta say that so far lives up to the hype of, you know, you watch these internet videos, you just never 100% know. And you don't know what I'm talking about either. We have the cutter, the collar, Allen wrench. We have the 3 millimeter guide drill bit. And there's one little screw. I'll have to read the instructions or ignore the instructions and figure out what that's all about. So otherwise, really good, nicely set up. I did get some of the Parf dogs as well from Lee Valley for, you know, doing some other work for clamping and that type of thing. So they may go back. I'm not 100% sure. Otherwise, looks good. I think I'll be able to get this system up and running on my old outfeed table. And, ooh, I wonder if this is going to go all the way through. My top is about 1 inch and a bit. Maybe not. It may not work so good. Well, I'll do what I can. I'm going to use this as a temporary Parf guide with a couple things for cutting some panels for the new outfeed table fence system. And I think it should be good. Oh, the reason I went with the 1080 track is that will come out to right about here. It'll register in the holes that are going to be drilled in the new top. But more importantly, is that as I'm pushing the saw out, I can only get to about there, and I measured that. So no sense getting a rail that's going to go too far. If I really need it, I believe I can actually get some dogs that will allow me to use my longer DeWalt track and register it down into the new outfeed table. So that should really allow me to use either Festool, DeWalt rails on this system with my DeWalt track saw. Let's see. So checking on the length of the Festool track, I like it because if I put my hip at the edge of the outfeed table, I get just about to there. So I should get about 36 inches of crosscut. If I need more, I would use my DeWalt rail with the clamps and measuring carefully and making sure I'm 100% square. This is looking really good, guys. I'm pretty excited about all of this. So hopefully I'll have more coming forward with some build of the outfeed table.